New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Oh, thank you very much. Always nice to be greeted by applause. Good evening to everyone across the nation and around the world. It is time now for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and always exciting edition of the Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus, broadcasting from the super secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, in a secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio. Oh, we always have fun here on the Friday evening Fireside Chat. Good to have you along this evening. We have a great show tonight. Please feel free to interact with us by posting your comments below on Facebook. And again, for the shy in the audience, and I know there's a few of you out there, please feel free to contact me by email, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. The purpose of our Fireside Chat is to talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And as I keep saying over and over again, I want us all to have a new thought about what is going on all around us here in the United States and also globally. It seems right now to be in a real mess. But those of you who study chaos theory knows that within the chaos that there is implicit order. So that's what I see coming out of all of this chaos is a new world's coming, a world that does work for everyone. So as I was taught in ministerial school by C.C. Coltrane, she said, Michael, she says, your job is to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. So again, if anything comes up during our show that's feeling a little uncomfortable, again, maybe it's something for you to take a look at for your own spiritual growth and healing. Oh, we have wonderful guests this evening. During the second half of our program from the New Thought spiritual community located in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA, we welcome Reverend Claudia Rene and her husband, Brother T, who premiered not one, but two shows this week on the New Thought Media Network. That's True Thought Inspiration and also True Thought Miracles. So we'll be talking to Reverend Claudia and Brother T. We'll be talking to them here in around 25 minutes. All right, so I have some explaining to do to Diego. I'm usually up at 9 o'clock Eastern on a Friday, texting Diego, telling him all the cool stuff that we're going to do for the program. Well, I got up a little late today. I got up at noon. And the reason being is another New Thought Media host and fellow ministerial student, Laura Topper, kept me up all night long at the clubs. We were partying all night long. We closed it down at 4:30. All right. You want to know the real reason? Okay, so Claudia and I were on, excuse me, not Claudia, but Laura and I were on a call last night for our class with Dr. Amit Goswami, who is a noted spiritual writer and physicist, with his class, Science and Spirituality. So the class was at 8:30 Pacific time. So that means that I had class at 11:30 Eastern time, PM. Now, Laura had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be on a 4:30 phone call in the morning. So we both had late nights last night. By the way, if you'd like more information about Holmes Institute and all the great classes they offer with world-class instructors like Dr. Goswami, please contact me at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. I will get you more information about all the great classes at Holmes Institute with some great instructors. So we start off the news this evening from CNN with another mass shooting. CNN describes a mass shooting event as one that involves at least 4 victims or more, not including the shooter. Community mourns beloved doctor, family, and worker who officials say were killed by a former NFL player. A shocked South Carolina community was grieving and looking for answers on Thursday after officials say that a beloved doctor and 4 other people were shot and killed by men who had gone from a local high school on to college and then the NFL. York County Sheriff Kevin Tolson said on Wednesday afternoon, Philip Adams, 32, shot 2 air conditioning technicians outside, killing 1, and then forced his way into Dr. Robert Leslie's home in Rock Hill. Leslie, his wife, Barbara, and 2 grandchildren, ages 5 and 9, were found shot to death in a back room. Air conditioning technician James Lewis of Gastonia, North Carolina, was found dead outside. The surviving technician, Robert Shook, is out of surgery, according to a Facebook post from his daughter on Thursday evening. Her father is in intensive care on a ventilator, she wrote. Tolson said it was unclear why Adams took 2 guns to the Leslie property in Rock Hill, a city of 74,000 residents just across the border from Charlotte, North Carolina. I was just in North Carolina a few weeks ago. The sheriff said there is nothing about this that makes sense right now. A statement from the doctor's 4 children said that the family is dealing with the loss. Their statement said, while we still know that there are no answers that will satisfy the question why, we are sure of one thing. We do not grieve as those without hope. We're quoting from the Bible. Our hope is found in the promise of Jesus Christ, and we are enveloped by the peace that surpasses all understanding, the statement said. To try to help stem all the gun violence that we've been experiencing here over the past several weeks, we go now to news from the White House. President Biden unveiled a set of executive actions on gun control, including new investments in intervention programs in violence-prone communities. He's also directing his administration to tighten restrictions on the so-called ghost guns, and we'll talk about that here in a moment, and pistol stabilizing braces that allow weapons to be used more accurately. And also, Biden called on Congress to take steps on gun reform legislation, including reenacting an assault weapons ban in the wake of last month's mass shootings. Also from CNN, it says how Biden's new rules aim to target ghost guns, which I've never heard of before. The executive actions that President Biden announced, where he repeatedly argued, do nothing to impinge upon the Second Amendment right to bear arms, includes effort to restrict weapons known as ghost guns. Now, these are handmade or self-assembled firearms that don't have serial numbers Some can be fabricated in as little as 30 minutes using kits and individual parts purchased online that do not require a background check, meaning that they can be bought by anyone. Biden directed the Justice Department to issue a proposed rule to stop the proliferation of these weapons. Through a senior administration official previewing the steps, declined to elaborate on how specifically the rule, due in 30 days, might work. Biden also announced new investments in intervention programs in violence-prone communities, a directive to the Justice Department to publish model red flag laws for states that allow temporary removal of guns from people deemed at high risk of harming themselves and others, and also a comprehensive report on firearms trafficking. Taken together, the actions amount to the first real steps by the Biden administration to combat gun violence. The moves are limited in scope, and they fall short of the steps that Biden has vowed to pressure Congress to take, but still they fulfill his pledge of last month to take common sense steps of his own. Biden made the announcements on Thursday from the Rose Garden alongside his new Attorney General, Merrick Garland, whose Justice Department will be responsible for drafting the new rules. All right. So like I mentioned a few weeks ago from our blog post from Dr. Jim Lockhart about gun violence, I ask everyone this question this evening. What is yours to do? What is yours to do? Every one of us can do something, like order the materials from agnt.org for your spiritual community about social justice. Be a part of a peace prayer circle like we have here on New Thought Media Network, and also start one in your spiritual community. Work on common sense gun reform with your local politicians. Organize a gun buyback program for later this year with your local police department. Well, how do we get the money, Mike? Go to local businessmen and women, ask them for donations, and then you can go ahead and buy gift certificates to give to people when they bring in guns. Have seminars on nonviolence for your center and also the greater community. Another idea is to organize a neighborhood peace walk. There's all kinds of ideas and things that we can do. The list goes on. We all can do something here. Yes, prayer is an extremely powerful force. I remember a few years ago in Pittsburgh when they were holding the G8 conference that a religious science minister there went ahead and organized Peaceburg, and they were responsible for keeping the violence down by the use of prayer. So prayer is a very powerful force, and there's also been other studies done. But what is even greater here is prayer plus action. Prayer plus action. The days of ignoring challenges in our world and community are over if New Thought spirituality wants to be a vital change agent. Change happens here when we as individuals speak out as a collective and say enough is enough. And this change can be long and can start in our communities. All right? If you're wondering what you've stumbled on to this evening, hi there. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus, where we are going over some of the news of the week here. Witness testimony continues in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. On the stand today was Dr. Andrew Baker, who was their chief county medical examiner who performed Floyd's autopsy. Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and also second-degree manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. Floyd died in May 2020 after Chauvin placed his knee on Floyd's neck while he pleaded, "I can't breathe." The final moments recorded on video led to the widespread protest against police brutality and racism, as well as incidents of unrest last summer. I must admit, it's really hard for me to watch the testimony. Hearing those witnesses testify and dissect, second by second, the accounts of the circumstances surrounding George Floyd's death can be tough. From CNN, they're recommending that, again, if you're feeling triggered by watching the minute-by-minute coverage, they recommend that you may want to seek some help here. I'm just going to mention some of the organizations: the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and also the Association of Black Psychologists. All of this is available on the CNN website. And you can contact any of the organizations I just mentioned to find peer groups and other group counseling services. Now, these organizations also have affiliates in cities that also host group meetings, and they offer coping mechanisms to deal with stress, depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions. CNN is recommending, and so am I, it's always important to speak to someone and not feel that you're facing this alone. If there's feelings that are coming up because of watching this, first of all, you may want to go ahead and not watch it. Watch for the summaries of the news at 6 and 11, also during the national news broadcast. I'm not saying be uninformed. I'm just saying that, again, watching that minute by minute and you're getting triggered by that, I really just support you. Again, watch your thinking and also ask for help. We have many people, again, who are trained within our spiritual communities to listen to you, to love you, and to refer you if we need to. We have our own problems, even here in Akron, Ohio. Akron police officer did not put knee on suspect's neck during arrest, so says the acting chief, but did shove snow in the face. Isn't this interesting? This was posted yesterday. The Akron Police Department here in Ohio disputed a claim that an officer put a knee on the back of a man's neck while arresting him during a domestic violence dispute in February. But the department did denounce the officer's act of shoving snow into the man's face repeatedly, calling it not appropriate. The attorney for the man who claimed the officer put a knee to his neck said his client felt like his airway was being restricted. In a Thursday press conference, Akron police released body-worn video to show the moments before and after Charles Hicks II, 26, was arrested on February 7th following an alleged domestic violence incident in which police say that he threatened his significant other with a knife. According to News Channel 5, which is the local TV station here covering this, and their media partner, the Akron Beacon Journal, Eddie Siplin, who's one of my Facebook friends, I just want to be honest about that, who's a very well-known and respected attorney here in the Akron area, who's the attorney for Hicks, said that the former Akron police officer, John Turner, who resigned during the investigation, put his knee on his client's neck and pushed snow down his throat. Hicks said, "I just felt like they were trying to kill me. It was one of the scariest moments in my life." Charles Hicks listened as his attorney, Siplin, talked about February's altercation with Akron police during an interview Wednesday at Siplin's office. So incidents like this continue across the nation. Speaking up for justice and peace needs to continue. Now, people have accused me of being non-supportive of our men and women in blue, and that is not true. I have known many police officers. I even know and have met the chief of police who's currently acting here in Akron, Ohio. They have a tough job to do. But we, as people who claim to be for spirituality and love, we ask that our police officers do their job, go by the book, and implement changes in training and also education that have been recommended by task forces formed all over the country. They've been giving recommendations to police departments for years here. So now is the time to implement it. Now is the time. The targeting of especially Black men must end now so that we don't have to have another police officer on trial for the murder of a suspect. Continue to demand change in your city. We do need a world that does work for everyone. And again, as I've said before, it is very new thought to be involved in social issues and to go ahead and to speak up and to speak out. Well, good evening to you and welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus. And in just a few moments, we'll be having on from the New Thought Spiritual Community from Music City, USA. I like saying that. Nashville, Tennessee. Reverend Claudia, Rene, and her husband, Brother T, who will be talking about their offerings here on the New Thought Media Network. Yes, COVID-19 is still in the news here. Total number of cases, 30,814,955 cases in the last 7 days. It's gone up a little bit. 450,756 total number of deaths, including my mother, Etta Mangus, 557,093. What you need to know here, U.S. COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are increasing, particularly for younger people. While the deaths are going down, the CDC director warned that the cases are going up among younger people. Johnson & Johnson said it was aware of a rare blood clotting, but maintains that there is no clear causal relationship with its vaccine. Remember, Johnson & Johnson is the one that you only need one shot instead of two. And the WHO, the World Health Organization Director General, says that the risks from the COVID-19 are much higher than the AstraZeneca vaccine-related risks, urging everyone to get a vaccine. So this week, yours truly received his first Pfizer vaccine. Thank you to all the very nice people at Cleveland Clinic. Their local program was extremely quick, very well organized. I know that there's still hesitancy about getting the vaccine. However, I'm really supporting everyone to base their decision based upon the science and also the recommendation of their primary health care doctor, and not fear. We can all do something here by following the science, wearing a mask, watching your distance, continuing to wash your hands, crack open a window or two, get some fresh air into your home. And for goodness sakes, please study the science before deciding not to get the vaccine. I'm not going to tell you whether or not that you should get the vaccine. That's not my choice to make here. That's yours. But as for me and my house, we are getting vaccinated because it is safe and highly effective. I've been watching this now for over a year. I've watched the development. I've talked to scientists. The science is very conclusive that vaccines do work the way that they've done it through the mRNA method that Moderna and also Pfizer is using has been proven effective. We can all get through this here. I'm just asking for peace and calm as we do this here. Let's guide our thinking here. Let's continue to keep gathering online in our spiritual communities. Know that even with the vaccine, it's going to take a while to get to herd immunity. So we need just to be patient with everyone, including the people giving the vaccines. The vaccine sites that I have visited over the past several weeks have been all, again, extremely well run and orderly. I'm asking everyone to take this seriously. We will all get through this if we guide our thinking towards the positive and we start thinking about what we want here as we get through this. Some of us have been given some real gifts, but the reason that we've been given those gifts is because we've looked for them. There's been some real gifts given during this time of slowing down. Mainly the gift of slowing down, which many of us have needed to do for quite some time. And finally, I know that even though that many New Thought centers are planning to open up here, they are all doing so under the advisement of their local and state health departments. Being inside and not moving is still not a good idea right now. The all clear has not been issued yet. So again, follow the directions of your center's leadership. If they ask you to wear a mask and you want to attend in person, please do so. It's to keep everyone safe right now so that we can all be together here as again that it does open back up again. There is an end in sight, but we all have to be patient about that. All right. Of course, I have more show prep than I have time for, but that's okay. Well, good evening to you. Welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus. So good to see you here this evening. Let's go to some of the announcements that we have here, and then we'll take a break. Yours truly is parking himself right now at Summit CSL. For more information, go to summitcsl.org. There you will find all kinds of wonderful information about our wonderful Sunday gathering online at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. We were joking with a friend of ours from the West Coast who joined us last Sunday that he joined us for sunrise service. He literally did. So he said, so grab a cup of coffee or tea or espresso or chai or whatever you drink in the morning, and please join us. I do believe that we do have one of the best services I've seen in New Thought. The right balance of everything, the right balance of meditation, the right balance of message, the right balance of music, so that you can have your own spiritual experience. So this Sunday, we will introduce the April theme of light with our spiritual director, Diana Mangus, who's a licensed spiritual practitioner. So please go to summitcsl.org for more information on how to join the Zoom call. Our service is also simulcast on the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page. And our Facebook page also has broadcasts, past broadcasts of the world famous and ever popular Fireside Chat. The one thing that I'm asking everyone to do here is this. Please share the Fireside Chat and other programs that you find helpful here on the New Thought Media Network on your own Facebook page and social media. Now, what I do is I go ahead and I post also on other New Thought sites. So for more information on how to do that, please contact me. I'll be more than happy to coach you on them. I'm currently open for individual practitioner sessions, also Sunday speaking. I can speak anywhere using this wonderful technology. And also I do wonderful ceremonies in the Ohio, Pennsylvania, and also West Virginia area. So please email me at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com for more information. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of announcements for the New Thought Media Network. Just go on our website. ntmedia.org will give you more information about our wonderful shows. We'll be talking to two of our newest hosts here in a few moments, Reverend Claudia and also Brother T. We have all kinds of things happening here. We have Heart of Peace meditation Friday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. We also have some great shows coming up here, including one that I'm working on with Reverend Dr. Charlotte Manning called the Sunday Evening Masterclass. The show that I work on with Diego, Spirit Says Sing, that's every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. here on the New Thought Media Network. We have prayer, we have uplift, we have support. You do not have to do the spiritual journey alone. You have us here at the New Thought Media Network. So we're asking for you to partner with us. Not only by your prayers, which again, I pray for us every day, but also through your financial support. When you partner with us financially, what happens is that you get the great joy of giving, but also that you have the opportunity with us to reach individuals that have never, ever heard this spiritual message before. So we're asking you to please partner with us. Go on ntmedia.org/donate, more information, but you put your money here as an investment to help us reach the world with this powerful spiritual message. ntmedia.org/donate. And thank you so very much. We will be right back with our very special guest here in just a few moments. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And thank you, Jay Silvers, for that wonderful message. Our special guest this evening, debuting their programs here on the New Thought Media Network, Reverend Claudia Rene, and also her husband, Brother T. Reverend Claudia Rene is a gifted mystic of spiritual truth and a modern-day thought leader. She is passionate about the awakening of humanity. Reverend Rene joins in heart and mind with spirit during her talks and connects with her audience from an inspired consciousness of oneness. Reverend Claudia Rene is an ordained minister with the Centers for Spiritual Living. She holds a master's degree in consciousness studies from Holmes Institute and has studied with Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith at Agape International, where she became a religious science practitioner. A contemplative mystic. Her unique gift of spiritual expression combines the timeless teachings and personal stories to engage and entertain her audience. Reverend Rene, she is the real deal, both authentically and relatable to audiences of all ages. She is a popular keynote speaker. I heard her speak a couple of years ago at the International New Thought Alliance down in Nashville, and I'm going to tell you something. She was absolutely wonderful. She also hosts workshops, online trainings, group gatherings, and individual personal guidance as a consciousness consultant. That's a wonderful title to have. Regardless of your spiritual persuasion, prepare to be inspired by an enlightened narrative of true thought and self-realization of just how remarkably prepared the world is right now for an experience of divine presence. It's my honor to present to you from Nashville, Tennessee, Reverend Claudia Rene, and also her husband, Brother T. Welcome to the New Thought Media Network.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Oh, you're welcome. So I'm always curious here when I interview couples in ministry. So how did the two of you meet? And also, what attracted you to New Thought spirituality?
Okay. I think do you want to tell the story or shall I?
That's a great question, Michael. What attracted me to New Thought spiritual community was my wife. Before that, I didn't know it existed. But I was involved with teaching spirituality through A Course in Miracles, and had a student who wanted to go to Waterville, Ohio, of all places, right outside of Toledo. And they were doing a workshop there with the guides, Paul Selig and the guides. And so I said, sure, I'll go with you, because I used to work in Toledo. Got there, and the first night was a Friday night, short session, but we were there. She picked me out of the crowd at the end of the night. We stood up at the end of the night, the last little process, and she said, the guide said, okay, now they went through, her and one other guy went through a process, and then they said, okay, each one of you do pick one from the audience. And she scanned around the room, and she looked at me, and she went like this. And I was hooked. That was it. And here's the kicker. The next day, we start the next morning, and the room fills up, and I'm looking around. Where's this beautiful lady I saw last night, and nowhere in sight. I thought, well, maybe she's not coming back. I don't know. But there was only one chair left, and it was sitting beside me. And guess who walked in last?
I wonder who.
So she spent the day with me, and the same thing happened the next day, literally. And I'm like, oh, she's going to think I'm setting this up. I'm not setting this up. But it was remarkable. And then she kind of ignored me all weekend because I live 500 miles away.
And I thought he was with the woman that he drove up with,
no.
So which he wasn't, obviously. But
yeah. But a couple of days later, she says I called her, but I was at work. I'm pretty sure she called me. And I asked her, I said, I'll be back in Toledo in a couple of weeks. Would you like to go out? And she said, yeah. And we started talking. We must have talked for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. It was great. And she finally got around and said, why are you coming back to Toledo? I said, because I'm taking you out on a date. And, the rest is history.
And so I was speaking at a spiritual center also that weekend. So he saw the program and noticed, that I was a reverend, and he came up that weekend, not just to take me out on a date, but also to hear the message that I gave that Sunday in the same community where we were at the workshop. And we joke that Paul Selig's guides, kind of cast a spell, and he left. He left the area, Waterville, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So the rest is history. We've really been together ever since.
Yeah.
And
that was almost 9 years ago.
And how we met, which was also really wonderful, when I called him out of the crowd, it was for what they call an attunement. And the words that we spoke to one another during that attunement, we ended up incorporating in our wedding ceremony 7 years later. Yeah, 7 years later. So, so anyway, that's how we met. And then
6 years later.
But you were studying prior to that. So
yeah, I've been on my own spiritual path for some time.
You weren't doing New Thought.
No, I wasn't doing New Thought. I was teaching A Course in Miracles and had quite a few students and was on my own pathway, but I wasn't finding a partner in that. And I'd finally just said, I guess I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life by myself. I'm okay with that. And as soon as I made that declaration, Michael, 3 weeks later, I'm in Waterville, Ohio, and magic happens, or miracles happen, as it is. And we've had a great, and we started our relationship by saying, I asked her, I said, if we're going to be in a relationship, let's have a holy relationship. And we laid that as our foundation right up front, and revealed to each other, what we thought that meant. And she's taught me a lot about New Thought, and I believe I've taught her something about the Course in Miracles and the channel work that's available to us now. And it's become woven and integrated into all of our teachings. And we just keep spiraling up. I mean, we're just having more and more joy, more and more bliss. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what usually happens again in spiritual relationships, is when you say, you know what, I'm willing to do this alone. Mm-hmm. And that's happened to me too. And I think that's a real powerful thing, because when you go ahead and you just say, listen, I'm willing to do whatever Spirit wants me to do, then the right person or partner shows up. So how wonderful. So talk to us about the birth of the True Thought Spiritual Community and why the two of you have started this ministry.
The name True Thought Spiritual Community came to me, I guess back in around 2013, 14, somewhere around there. But in 2015, we went back to Toledo, and we began to work at a Unity church there. And she took over as the senior spiritual leader, and I took over as the chief bottle washer and cook, or whatever that is, and turn the furnace on kind of guy. But I was doing sound and media production for her, and we, as a team, we began to realize that we really had a lot more to offer. For the first 2 or 3 months, I was actually speaking at another church that we had both been speaking at for a little while there in Toledo. But it was just amazing how it all came together, and that was a wonderful, beautiful community there. But last year, as it happens with COVID and all the things that were happening there, we had a chance to give birth to that community, True Thought Spiritual Community, because the community we were serving in Nashville decided to make a different choice in what was going on with them. That everything was shut down, and they were, I think, quite concerned. And so we just kind of stepped back and and said, it's time for us to do our own thing, and started True Thought Spiritual Community. And that was in July of last year.
Yeah. So the genesis of it, we had actually the logo from several years ago and the name, as Tony suggested. And we had actually already taught classes under True Thought. And so it just became a natural, wonderful, really opportunity. Like many people had these opportunities over the past year to kind of pivot. And for us to do what we had dreamed of doing previously. And so that is how True Thought came into form. So, yeah.
Well, how wonderful. If you wonder what you've stumbled onto this evening, hello there, welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. We are talking with the ministry team of Reverend Claudia, Rene, and also Brother T.
Mm-hmm.
And so you premiered. Rick Tamlin has been writing us here. Great to see and hear both of you today. Great energy coming over the waves to my life right now. Thank you so very much. Well, thank you, Rick, for tuning in this evening. Really appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah. So you've premiered a couple of shows this week. The first one was True Thought Inspiration that plays at 11 a.m. Mountain Time here on the New Thought Media Network. And also today you premiered New Thought Miracles, which is at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 noon Eastern. So New Thought Miracles is our first full-time presentation of the Course in Miracles here on our network. So for those who are not familiar with the Course, please give us a little history about it and how has it affected your life?
Why don't you do the history and then we'll both jump in?
Sure. Well, I'll refer you to the episode and it should be posted up on New Thought Media Network right now. It should be up there. And the conversation lasted about 35 minutes or so, but that's what we did there. We actually shared our stories, how we got involved in teaching A Course in Miracles, how it came into our lives, how it began to merge into the teaching of our spiritual community's foundation and the impact. But basically, a very quick flyover is that I picked up a book. I was in corporate America, and I thought that, money was salvation, man. If you had money, you were happy and life was good. And that was the ticket. If anything, I was almost agnostic. And I picked up a book by Vernon Howard called A Rich Man's Secret because I wanted to learn how to make more money. And that book began to teach me about Zen philosophy. Next thing you know, I'm meditating and studying Buddhism. And I did that for a number of years. But I was also a personal development coach and started hearing other people like Wayne Dyer talking about A Course in Miracles. And I picked that book up. In the first year, I read the whole book through 5 times in the first year. I was just completely dedicated to it. It began to change my life. And that was, that was 18 years ago now. But when I met her, she had already also in her pathway in New Thought, she was on her bookshelf and she'd studied it. And so the second day that I knew her, we went to lunch with a group of people at that workshop, and I'm interviewing her from across the table saying, what do you know about A Course in Miracles? I'm going after her, because I wanted somebody that could speak that language to be in my life, and I wanted to be with somebody that could do that.
Yeah. And so for me, I'll just give a quick trajectory of, what makes up who I am and how I teach and what I draw from. But I was raised Catholic, and that was something that I went to Catholic school and my family was Catholic. And so that took me in my years of conditioning. And there came a time while there was much I appreciated about that. The beauty, I liked the ritual. It didn't work as a young adult woman. And I was kind of lost for a good number of years. And then my adult spirituality really started with the 12 steps and a God of my own understanding. And then that took me to Unity. And then from Unity, it was actually at Unity where I took the religious science courses. They had a religious science practitioner in a Unity. So talk about open at the top. And I didn't take it accredited. And so then I went to, I moved from Kansas City to Agape to Los Angeles because I've been listening to Reverend Michael Beckwith and the Agape International Choir and Ricky. So I moved to LA and became a licensed religious science practitioner. And I just love that teaching. And while I was doing that, I became, probably while I was at Unity, I was introduced to A Course in Miracles. I love the teaching about forgiveness. I love what I call it, the channeled work of Jesus, kind of setting the record straight and saying, no, this piece of scripture didn't really, it's been interpreted this way, but this is what it really meant. And this is how it was intended. And I love Jesus. I love the Christ concept, that principle. And so A Course in Miracles works very well for me, those threads. And one of the most important things I got from it was, the teaching about forgiveness. But it really reinforced, spiritual mind treatment for me. In the margins, I actually cross-reference what's Ernest Holmes, what's Science of Mind. And it's something that I really love to do, is to show where the similarities are and how that works for how my understanding is, and then how I teach from there. Yeah. I also want to just say one other thing is that, you begin with the news in this fireside episode that we're doing. And I find that the teaching of A Course in Miracles is very helpful with how we view world events as well. I think Science of Mind is as well, but so too is A Course in Miracles. And that's given me a lot of peace. And, the thought of my first spiritual mentor practitioner, Forenza Crawford from Agape, would use the news as a prayer request list. And, so that's part of the practice as well. Is there something you wanted to add?
I was just going to say that it also lays out the foundation for what a holy relationship is.
Yes.
And so that was
and
the
all
language
of us,
for all of us.
Yeah,
absolutely, for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, everyone here on the New Thought Media Network can learn more about the course on Fridays. And again, if you can't see the broadcast live, again, as Brother T said, you can go ahead and you can get the replay either on Facebook, or you can have the replay also on the New Thought Media Network YouTube page. Are you posting this also? Now, they have a wonderful website, which I'm going to recommend here. truethought.org is absolutely wonderful. There they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the YouTube channel, which is ttsc.tv. There's all kinds of resources on there. So briefly explain what people can find on both of those wonderful resources.
Well, TTSC, of course, is True Thought Spiritual Community.tv is our YouTube channel. And we have right around 80 episodes there now. Each week we do 2 value-packed episodes, Sunday inspirational message, and then we do an Inside the Message. And then we offer an opportunity for people to join our inner circle. And then after the Inside the Message, we kind of unpack. So she'll speak one week and I'll speak the next. And whoever is speaking that week gets interviewed by the other on Wednesday. We do an Inside the Message and we unpack that. And then we offer a Zoom session for anybody that's interested, and they can join us live after our Inside the Message on Wednesday evenings. And that's at 7 o'clock Central Time here in Nashville. and then we just gather together as community in Zoom. We're not landed in the sense that we have a building anywhere or anything like that. We've been working from home virtually since we began our ministry, and we're excited. We've got I think close to 80 subscribers now on our YouTube channel, and we're getting some good views. And she's always getting more than I do. I don't understand why that's happening, but it's good.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Not necessarily true.
Your area, talking about the news and also what we are currently going through here. Your area of Nashville has been through several severe storms here in the past several years, tornadoes, floods, even a downtown bombing on Christmas Day. So with all that's going on in your area, how do you apply spiritual principles to get through those situations?
Right. It's really interesting. So you have the list, and then of course we have a national and global list. And what is taught in both the Science of Mind and A Course in Miracles is that there really is ever only one problem, and therefore there's ever only one solution. And so really in looking at that, it is accepting to some degree, that life, these things are a part of life, especially the natural things that are happening. But, we view it as a call to prayer, a call to remembrance of the truth that we are powerful in our consciousness and our ability to create our experiences, and that we get the choice of how we view everything, how we perceive it. And I know that of my own self, I often go to fear. And so I bring that to either the holy instant or to spiritual mind treatment or to, the altar, and place that upon the altar and invite my higher consciousness to join in whatever the issue is, so that I may see it in a different way. So I may see it clearly. And so the situations vary, but the practice is the same. And the solution is truly the same as well. And from there, divine inspiration comes, and we're guided and we're led from there.
And we, of course, we're listening into what you were sharing this evening, Michael. And I just want to comment that, we are the creators. We're the creators. And so whatever we're experiencing is associated with our consciousness and who we are being, right? And I know you agree with that, right?
Yes, I do. And
so what's really happening is we've been praying and we've been saying we want things to be different, right? And right. So the new can only come at the cost of the old. And so what's really happening is there is a huge energy shift that's happening right now around our globe. And that energy shift is bringing about a fundamental shift and a freedom that will be established with those of us who are conscious enough, I believe, to recognize this shift. And we are in the process of bringing heaven on earth. And yes. While it looks bad from the media's perspective, because people who have been in control are losing that control, love is gaining control. And this is a revolution. It's a love revolution. And we're going to see lots of things that seem to be disturbing, but our job is to hold high vigil and to know that there's only one problem. And the solution is to know that none of that is true. Those are illusory attempts to keep us distracted.
So I'm getting the wrap-up sign from Diego. So thank you to the both of you. Again, Claudia, Rene, and also Brother T. They are brand new here on the New Thought Media Network. Catch them on Sundays for True Thought Inspiration, which plays at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And also New Thought Miracles, which is on Fridays at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 noon Eastern. Thank you to the both of you. Spirit's richest blessings to the both of you.
Thank you.
Maybe we talk soon and see each other. Claudia and I have known each other for like 20 years now. So it's really been a really interesting journey. So thank you again. And we will talk to you soon. Thank you,
Michael.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.
God bless you.
All right. Well, it's time to go. Boy, an hour goes by quick here on the New Thought Media Network. Again, for more information about us, ntmedia.org. Please go on there, check out our schedule, and please donate, because your donation really goes a long way for us to take powerful teachers like Reverend Claudia and also Brother T around the world. So again, ntmedia.org. So until next week, thank you so much for joining us. This is Pastor Michael Mangus, knowing for you a wonderful week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.
Wanna play? Come to our yard. New Thought Media Network spotlights you. Saturdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Spirit Says Sing. Our stage is open for musicians, singers and speakers, visual artists. Shine with us live. It's easy. Just click the link in the comments and be ready to soar. Spirit Says Sing. Saturdays at 6, right here on New Thought Media Network.